Well, hello, and thanks, Mike and Kenzie, to inviting me to speak. And so, my name is Oriol Salvador. I'm a journalist, and I am also a certified YouTube manager. I am just a little introduction about myself. I'm from Barcelona, from Spain, and I moved here to Halifax in July of last year. I had YouTube. I was thinking about it, like probably the first channel was around 2006, but it has always been like a very random channel with different projects that I did. More professionally, YouTube, I've been working on it since 2016, where I joined the video network working primarily in music. So I was managing YouTube channel for a lot of music artists, music labels, and that's where I got my certifications on audience growth, digital rights, content ownership, and channel growth. You can see it's a screenshot of my channel where there's a list of channels I work with. Some of them I will touch back as examples of some of the things I'm gonna talk about. Yes, so I wanted to start with a little bit of history. I'm not going to do a boring presentation about the YouTube history, but I just wanted to give you key dates. So 2005, YouTube is founded. 2006 is bought by Google, purchased. 2007 is when they start the partner program where creators can start making money of it. And then when we talk about YouTube and SEO, I always go back to this date of 2012, because that's when they changed the ranking algorithm. Here's a news piece from that time in October. And basically this shift on the algorithm, on the search ranking algorithm, was huge because it went from prioritizing clicks and views to prioritizing engagement and watch time. So not just if people watch the video, if people click and watch the video, but if they have watched the entire video, if they are commenting, liking, etc. So before we start with specific elements of YouTube that you can work in order to improve your SEO, I wanted to start, sorry, there's a chat, sorry. Oh yeah, thanks. So no, I wanted to start with a few questions that Kenzie and Mike shared that they have come in previous SEO Brunch, so we can clear those questions up front and then move to more specific elements. If I look down, just to clarify, it's my phone. I have my notes for the presentation. So first of all, what is the optimal video duration for a video on YouTube? There is not a specific duration. Duration really doesn't matter. As I was saying with the change in 2012, it's audience retention that does. So it doesn't matter if the video is 5 minutes or 5 hours, as long as you keep consistent audience throughout the video. Obviously, it's a little harder if it's a 5 hours video, but that's the principle. And then, do you need to post new videos at a certain rate? Yes, there's no specific rate, but a long-term success on YouTube requires posting videos over time regularly. And that's, and also expect, like, to get people to expect a video, it's very, it's a good practice. So that's where you see channels saying like new video every Tuesday at 6, for instance. And in the opposite, it's a very bad practice that if you have to release a bunch of videos, don't make them public all at the same time, because you are like burning your opportunities for engagement. It's better, and it's really easy to schedule videos on YouTube. So it's better to schedule them over time to at least put few minutes and separating one and the other. And if possible, just make them every week or every day. Do the videos get buried if they receive low engagement the first days? And the answer is no. So the engagement in the first days, actually in the first hours, is very important. The amount of likes they get, the views they get right away when the video is released, but it's not decisive. And similar to the Cheetos example from the previous analysis, there's many reasons why a video can become popular or can become popular later after release. So imagine someone with a lot of followers shares that video. or it's a video that, because of recent events, becomes viral again, becomes, relevant. The topic is relevant. So, the videos can have like a second chance. And connected to that question comes the next one, which is if it's bad to delete all videos. I say yes. Um, Again, it is important, like videos that you think are old and will never get a chance can have it. And it's also very best good practice for SEO would be to go back in your videos, which you will notice in a lot of channels that the most popular video, it's generally the um, the oldest, like some of the older videos. So yeah, go in the analytics and look for the videos that were popular over the past year, over the past few months, and optimize the SEO for those videos that are, even if they are old, they're still getting a regular amount of views daily or monthly. And yeah, and then instead of deleting videos, I would recommend to put them unlisted, which makes them like it hides them from public search, but still makes them available if you have the link, or private, which completely disables them from watching. But even if you do that instead of deleting the video, the view count for those videos, it still counts towards the total view count and the total watch time of the channel, which is a very relevant metric that defines your positioning on YouTube. And one last question that Kenzie and Mike shared was about Vimeo. And basically what I want to say is Vimeo is not good for SEO. The only reasons why I've seen successful use cases on Vimeo, it is if you need a video that has to be protected under a password, to share it with specific clients. Or also in the filmmaking industry, there's a lot of talent that gets hired through Vimeo. So a lot of production companies, cinematographers, editors publish their work on Vimeo and get hired for a specific project from people that look for other people's work on Vimeo. But yeah, for SEO, invest all your SEO efforts on YouTube. So those were the questions, and now let's go into it. If I can summarize in 3 concepts, what I want you to take out of this presentation is that the SEO on YouTube is based on keywords, branding, and consistency. We'll talk a little more further, but yeah, keywords is the main element. So find both long tail and short tail keywords. Then branding is important to both the user and the algorithm for recognizing that the videos are part of a channel, and then you generate more internal traffic to that channel, which increases your positioning. And then consistency is important because all these concepts you have to keep consistent, and as I was saying in previous questions, you have to keep a consistent posting schedule in order to find success on YouTube. So going now element by element, one of the main elements for SEO on YouTube is the title of the video. And my recommendation is to use a long tail keyword for better SEO. So one example that I want to work on is, let's say, a cake recipe. Cake recipes, you search for it and there are many results. So you would do better with the title like chocolate cake recipe for your birthday party, for instance. And then I believe that video titles is 100 characters. That's the limit. But I would recommend to keep it short, keep it under 45, as I indicated here, which is what will show before the see more, like, because you want the title to be visible. And then identify what type of content it is, if it's an interview, a Q&A, a vlog, and if it's part of a serialized series, identify the numbers. So for instance, my trip to Norway, day 1. And finally, a recommendation that comes with the concept of branding and consistency that I was talking in the previous slide is to put the name of your channel at the end of the title, because then you identify that all your videos are part of that channel. So back to the example of the cake, it would be chocolate cake recipes for your birthday party / Gloria's recipes, considering here that Gloria is the name of the channel. Then for video descriptions, sometimes I feel that they're not as looked after as the titles of the tags, and they are very important. They're as important as the titles of the video tags. And put the main keywords at the first paragraph of the video, which will be, I recommend to just do one paragraph because it's what will show in the before the read more bar. And then follow that with a call to action like subscribe to the channel, visit the website, visit the online store, and related links like links to related videos, links to related articles. If it's a long video, timestamps have become really relevant. And actually, I read recently that YouTube's starting to consider that for positioning on search results. So all the, putting the video, the timestamp with the title will create like second titles of your video, if you know what I mean. And finally, again, with consistency and branding and your video description, which the limit is 1,000 characters, with a description of your channel with links to your website and social media that should be applied consistently at the end of all your videos. And then finally with tags. So the tags is a cloud of keywords, and I recommend to use long tail and also prioritize long tail. I should also short tail in different variations. So for instance, if this becomes a video on YouTube, you would use both YouTube SEO and SEO YouTube. And the order that you put the keywords in is important from my experience. And one technique that I use to define what tags I'm using is distinguish these three sections. So you have a first section of tags that are related to the video only. Then you have a section that is related to the category that the video is part of, and a final category of channel tags, which an extended version of that should also be placed as channel tags, which is a separate section under YouTube advanced settings. And yeah, the limit is 500 characters. One more thing that is, it goes unnoticed, but it's very important for SEO is closed captioning, subtitles, and translations. This was flagged to me by one of the channels I work with, Partido Intercambio. It's a channel by Bruna Amaral from Brazil, and it's in Portuguese. And she has flagged to me that it's not only for SEO positioning, but also providing the captioning for her videos, the subtitles, has given her the approval for monetization. So a video for some reason gets under review, doesn't get monetization approved. If she provides the captioning, it provides more metadata to the channel about what the video is about, and she has seen monetization enabled. And besides closed captioning and subtitles, which can be in different languages, one thing that most people are not aware of is that YouTube allows to enable translations. So that is, you can change the title and the description of your video, your playlist, and your channel on different languages. And one language or the other will appear depending on what is the language that the end user has on their settings. So back to the example of Partido Intercambio in Brazil, most of the channel is in Portuguese only, but if you go to the about page of that channel with your settings in English, you will see that the description actually shows in English. And if you change those settings to Portuguese, you will see that the description is different. It's just a couple more slides. One more thing that is very important with YouTube is you basically want people who find your channel to continue consuming videos from your channel. And a way to favor that is using end screens and cards. The end screens are windows that can appear on the last 20 seconds, of your video. And then the cards are 5 pop-up notifications that can appear at different times during the video. It's when they say like, click here, and yeah, they appear on the top. I never know what to, but they appear on the top right corner. And generally they are expected for users to recommend a video that is close related to the content. But even if it's not expressed during the video, I would highly recommend to enable those, because you are not just informing the user about other videos they can watch, you're also informing the algorithm and influencing what videos will show as recommended, suggested for people that have enjoyed the present video that they're watching. And then something to consider as well is that if you're a partner, if you become part of the partner program, you can also use those end screens and cards to generate traffic towards your website. So another channel that I work with is Leona, who is a filmmaker and an illustrator. Her most popular videos are music videos, but then on her website, she sells a lot of her books and illustrations and merchandising with the illustrations on them. So her videos are linked to that online store. So she generates some traffic from the views that the videos receive, and ultimately generates more sales, for her online store. Running out of time, and there are other aspects that are important on YouTube for SEO. So what I want to invite you to do is check those articles that I wrote last year, and you can find them on my website, oriolsalvador.com/category/YouTube. And if you look for me on LinkedIn, I have also published them there. And there's an article that is about best practices for thumbnails, which is, again, very important to catch the eye of a potential viewer on playlists, because as I was saying, you want to generate this trend of people continue watching your videos. So playlists are very important for that. What role can YouTube play on a digital marketing strategy, which is an article that Mike has shared on the Brunch article on the SEO Brunch social media before this. And yeah, there are a few more, and if you have any questions, I'm also happy to answer them, which takes me to the next slide. And yeah, I can open the room for questions.